Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead. Out here in one of our gardens today, we actually have 8 different gardens. 3 raised beds that are 4 by 16 and lots of containers, probably close to 100 containers, and a large greenhouse, high tunnel greenhouse growing food this year. And guys, you can see in the background here, this is one of 3 different crops of potatoes. Now, during this situation that we're facing, potatoes are going to be a big deal. You're going to need to learn to grow things that are easy to grow, very nutritious, and they come in large quantities so you can stock up really fast. Now, potatoes is going to be one of them. Now, this is what we call an Irish potato or a red potato, whatever you want to call it. The white potatoes, different things like this. Then you have what's called sweet potatoes. You need to be able to grow sweet potatoes because they are very nutritious. You almost could live on sweet potatoes by themselves. They're so nutritious. That's another product that you're going to be needing to grow, to be growing during this pandemic that we're facing, the food shortages that we're going to be facing in the coming months, possibly on into the fall of this coming year, is going to be horrendous. Now, it's going to be very important that you learn what to grow for nutrition wise. One of the things that when I was a kid growing up, my daddy always planted lots of sweet potatoes. We didn't have a lot of animals. We had a couple of pigs every now and then, but mainly we focused on beans and peas because of the protein content in it. My daddy grew lots and lots of peas and lots of butter beans and butter peas and stuff like this. Now, when I talk about growing crops to be sustaining and to live on, we ain't talking about something this small right here. My daddy planted acres for our family. Now, Wanda's family done the same thing. They planted acres of stuff in order to have enough food to be sustainable and to live on. We talk about planting corn. We didn't plant 4 or 5 rows of corn. My daddy planted a half an acre of corn to an acre of corn. Same thing with Wanda's parents. This is what you do to have enough to be able to live comfortably till the next year. We put up sweet corn in the bags. We put up over 100 bags of sweet corn just to have cream style corn. Then we had probably close to 50 to 100 bags of corn on the cob. My mama canned corn. These are the ways that our forefathers, our elders done it. They produced a mass amount of things. My mama would nothing. It was nothing for her to can 100 quarts of field peas. Now, when I say peas, you guys up north are thinking about English peas. Down south, I grow English peas here, and we put up a lot of English peas. We probably put up 60 to 80 jars of English peas a year for our needs. But when I'm talking about peas, I'm talking about field peas. Y'all call them, y'all probably get them after they're dry and they're called black-eyed peas or red beans or something like that. We grow them and eat them while they're fresh. We can them while they're fresh. We very seldom ever dry them for eating down here. We always eat them when they're fresh. And they taste 100% different than they do if you let them dry and then reconstitute them. Guys, we've got to get serious because we're fixing to go into a massive food issue in this nation. People still, I'm afraid, have the mentality that once this COVID-19 goes away, that they're going to just be able to run back to a grocery store and get what they need. And I've got news for you. That's probably not going to happen. Because when you shut down the farmer and he can't get his crops in when he needs to get them in, then what you've done is you've shut that food supply down for the rest of that year and the next year. So 2021 2022 are going to be some really critical years for food. And you have time now because it's early spring. A lot of you still in the cold. Down here, everything we got's just done leafed out, growing like wildfire. You can see the potatoes is already up. The blueberries is already bloomed. You got little blueberries on them. I mean, the dewberries is on the ground. They already got berries on them. Apple trees all leafed out, blooming. There's peaches on the peach trees here. Everything is ahead of schedule this year. And we're praying to the good Lord above that we don't get some kind of freak freeze in here and destroy it all, because if we do, it's like it's time to start over. Now the fruit trees won't recover, but we could replant. We won't be able to replant potatoes or anything like that, but the tender stuff we got out, like tomatoes, guys, I was planning on selling tomato plants at the gathering to help the other homesteaders out that came. There's a tomato that I found that does extremely well. It's a celebrity tomato, but it's a hybrid one. That thing it's a semi-determinate. It's a semi-indeterminate, let me say that. That thing just produces and produces and produces perfect tomatoes. I planted 162 of them in the Hoss Tool seed tray. Every one of them come up. I mean, every one of them. And right now, I'm sitting here with big, beautiful celebrity tomatoes, 8 inches tall. I've planted them everywhere I know to plant them here, and I probably still got 50 to 60 left that I'm sitting here, Wanda and I are scratching our heads going, where are we going to put these things, you know? But we will put them somewhere because we feel like that we need to. Now, what am I going to do with all these tomatoes? We will eat what we can eat. We will can what we can, you know. And we're going to trust God to show us what to do with everything we have. Potatoes this year. We normally plant 40 pounds of potatoes, and it makes us around anywhere between 400 and 500 pounds of potatoes to put up every year. This year we planted 110 pounds of potatoes. We're hoping for close to 1,000 pounds. I don't know whether we're going to make that quota or not. We're just going to have to wait and see, because guys, I'm taking the food shortages that's coming serious. I want Wanda and I to be set up so that we don't have to stress. Right now at this point, we've already canned close to 60 jars of carrots, and you can't even tell we've pulled any carrots out of our beds. And I'm being honest with you. I mean, these things are producing like you wouldn't believe. 94 jars is the best we've ever done on carrots here at Deep South Homestead. And if we keep going, we're going to blow that out of the water. I mean, with no problem. We'll pass that with one bed. And we still got 2 more beds to go, 4 by 16. Guys, I'm saying this to tell you, do not be caught believing the lies that everything is going to go back to normal real quick, because I just cannot see that happening. Anyone who knows anything about growing food will understand what I'm talking about. It is so important for us to be able to produce our own food. If you live in an apartment, I mean, check in the link below, order you a GreenStalk. It's not going to cost you any more money. Just get one, put it on your carport or your patio, or get 2 or 3 of them. Wanda grows more food in them things than you'd ever think about growing. Vertical farming in Japan is a big deal because they got limited space. Vertical farming will work. So there's no excuse for saying I live in a place where I can't grow anything, because you can grow vertically. Just do it, guys. I am begging and pleading with you to just do this, because if you're caught believing that the stores is going to have plenty of food, you're going to be one of the ones that FEMA is going to be looking for, and they're going to be coming after people who believe that. So please, please, I don't know how else to say it. Please just grow. Get you some seeds and start growing. Even if you're just growing in a 5-gallon bucket. My mom and daddy even went as far as to used to take these bags of black cow, and they would punch holes in the top of them and plant tomato plants in the top of them and sit them out there in the yard. And my mom and daddy grows some of the most beautiful tomatoes out of them things you've ever seen when they got older and couldn't get out in the garden anymore. There are ways to do it, guys. And it is imperative with what we're fixing to be facing in this country that you grow your own food. Do not depend on a grocery store, because if you do, you will be a prime target for FEMA in the coming months. So I'm not going to keep this video any longer. I just came on here because I wanted to be able to urge everyone to take the initiative to get out there and to start doing something. Even if you're old and you can't do anything, or if you're disabled. My brother was in a wheelchair most of his life, but yet he still had things on tables where he could get to it and could grow small stuff to eat. I mean, it can be done. So, my friend, don't be caught unaware. Do not believe the lies of the MSM, because we are facing an LCE like we've never faced in our lifetime. And I'm concerned that there's many out there that just are going to try to blow this thing off. And I'm not worried about the virus, even though I know it's mutating and is doing some really wacky stuff that they're not telling you about. You know, a lot of people are just falling down, going into convulsions and stuff like this. The brain is not telling the lungs to work. There's all kinds of things starting to happen with this virus. Look, it's not taking God by surprise. God knows all about COVID-19. And He knows all about the people that belong to Him. So it's not going to take Him unaware. Stay on your knees before Him and ask for a protective hedge to be put about you. Claim the promises of Psalm 91, that the Lord will put you underneath His wings and protect you. Guys, it's imperative that we do not forget the Lord in all of what's going on in this country, because it's forgetting of Him that has put us where we're at. So we need to acknowledge. Now, there's a verse I think is pulled out of context a lot of times, but it can have a lot of different applications. It is, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will heal their land. Now, this was in the Old Testament. There were no such thing as Christians back then, so when it say people who are called by my name, it's not the name Christian. So, but it can be used as an application for today. And we must do that. And we must put forth an effort to take care of ourselves and our families personally and not depend on a government or anyone else to do it. We've got to take responsibility for what's around us and ourselves, because the Bible teaches us that if a man doesn't work, he should not eat. And the word work there during that particular time is a word that was used during an agricultural period of life. Meant that if a man didn't get out and grow his own food, then he should not be allowed to eat. And that he is worse than an infidel, it says. So guys, take these things to heart. We're headed into a part of Revelations that's uncharted territory for all of us. There's things that's going to be happening in the very near future. There's going to be unfolding the latter days of an age. And we as people have to understand that we can't depend on grocery stores like we've done our whole life. We've got to learn to do it on our own. So guys, please, get out, find a way, get you some 5-gallon buckets, get you some bags of pot and soil, do something, and put something in it to grow you some food. I'm going to leave you guys with that thought. Thank you from Deep South Homestead.